So this is the story of the time I drove Oprah Winfrey. So I got a call. It was an all-day drive, and there's no name on the contract. What you got to understand about this is when you're driving and no name comes in on the contract, the person wants privacy. It's generally somebody doing something they shouldn't be doing, or a big-time celebrity, big-time athlete. Generally, regular celebrities or athletes or whoever else don't do this. It's people who really need privacy. So, for whatever reason, these people don't want the fanfare. So whenever you get that on your contract, you really try to stay low key. So the drivers go to the private airport. There's a big jet that came in. It was gorgeous as well. And they asked us to come out to the tarmac to pick the person up. That's not unusual. And so the first person comes out, I don't recognize them. The second person comes out, I don't recognize them. I'm thinking, oh, this is probably somebody I'm just not going to ever know. And then she comes out and I was like, oh, I know who that is. And so I let her in. She brought a lot of stuff. You couldn't bring that in regular airport type of stuff. With that said, she had a bodyguard. She also had a personal assistant, and I'm going to say for protection purposes, a friend. And so, or a family member probably. I think that person's more of a family member. With that said, Oprah had to be one of the kindest and nicest people I've ever met. She was really unassuming. She spoke softly. I heard her laugh a couple times. But we didn't go do business stuff. We went to a personal residence. And I watched Oprah do stuff you probably would never imagine yourself seeing Oprah do, putting together things like furniture. And so slightly assisted with that. For the most part, her bodyguard as well as her personal assistant, over the top, kind, nice. You could really see that they were working hard to protect her image. But they didn't have to work too hard because it came off so genuine. As a matter of fact, she went to a restaurant. We took her to a restaurant and she goes in with the bodyguard, picks up the food. I'm just directing her to where the restaurant is because it's some turns to walk through this alley to get it. She walks in, grabs the food, and nobody recognized her. As a matter of fact, she was wearing sunglasses. Her hair was a little bit over her face. And as she's walking out, I saw one of the hosts look back at her and say, hey, she looks familiar. Is that? And I looked back at the host as they're walking out. And so she was like, oh my God. But outside of that, nobody else recognized her. She was that unassuming. She tipped well, amazingly sweet. I took her back to the residence. They had a great time. I listened to her laugh and have conversations. Then they dropped that person off that she came in with. She rode back. She talked a little bit to her team. That was about it. I dropped her off at the back of the jet. She gave me a hug and said thank you for taking care of her that day. And she tipped well, shook her drivers, her bodyguard's hand and her personal assistant, and they were great and they were on their way. When I tell you, she had to be one of the kindest people I've ever had a chance to deal with in this business. And I've run across some pretty good people. She had to be one of the most memorable. It felt so genuine. It felt so authentic. So that was me driving Oprah Winfrey. My overall impression, genuinely a really sweet person.